Oh, hey, good morning, friends. I'm Mark Holmes, and I want to thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Jobu Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally doesn't work. Well, you guys, you've seen my fire pit here, and I got to tell you, I absolutely love it. It's Memorial Weekend, and unfortunately, it's raining a little bit. But last night, we kind of broke it in. We had chairs around this last night, had about 8 people, and it was really incredible. It was a little chill in the air, but having the fire was a great thing. But I don't really want to have just chairs around this. I want this to be a featured location for my outdoor man cave. And of course now, outdoor furniture and outdoor spaces are definitely beginning to be big. But looking at sectionals, the cost of them is way up there. And me, you guys know, I pretty much build everything that I have. So I'm going to actually build a sectional to go out here. I watched a video by Anna White, which was made I think about 2 years ago, 1.5 million views and stuff on it, and she shows you how to make a great sectional out of 2x4s. She used Western cedar, and very simple. Basically, you need a drill, a circular saw, and a miter saw to build it. Well, I'm going to take it take it up another notch, because you guys know I am a cabinet maker and stuff. But what I'm going to do with this is the basic principles of it are going to be able to be convertible. Basically, all you're doing is building a platform with the back on it, in which case then you can just add and change. So what we're going to do is we're going to build a section here, which will be 75 inches. Then we'll build another section that'll attach right here. That's another 75 inches. And then we can add a chaise lounge that'll go right here. And if we want to, we can always add another one as well. So the pieces will actually be convertible, where we can actually take the arms off and we decide, hey, we need a bigger sectional. We just build another section and put it in there. Or even if we wanted to wrap it around, you'd be able to do this with the way I'm going to do the system. So I'm going to get into the workshop and get ready to start going, and I will give you a little, show you guys the cushions that we're actually buying. That unfortunately is the most expensive part of this project, but you can find some really nice cushions and stuff, and you can probably build this for about 1/3 of the price of buying something that you buy in the store. And I guarantee you it will last longer. So I'm going to finish my coffee out here, and I'm going to get started building. Okay, so here's actually our cushions that we're actually going to use for this. The thing I like about this is that these are actually attached together, and it's a nice thick 5-inch hard foam in there, so that way it won't crunch up. You can buy some that maybe cost a little bit less than all that, but when you got 260 pounds like I do, you want a real nice heavy weight cushion. So the biggest cost on this project, of course, is the cushions, and you want to get something that's good, that's going to hold up. But these are nice outdoor cushions. And what we're going to actually do, because we're doing a sectional, and these are made as 2 pieces, what we're going to do is we're going to actually buy another set. We're actually going to cut the pillow off over there, and we'll use that pillow in the corner, and the extra cushion we'll end up having 2 together to make our chaise lounge. So that way you're not actually wasting any, and you're going to have that nice corner effect. And then what you of course can do is buy a nice contrasting color pillow to kind of go in the middle, kind of finish it all off. So our cushions themselves are 25 by 25, and they're 5 inches deep. Now typically when you build seating, you want it right at 19 inches. So we're actually going to take off 4 inches from the height of our platform for the cushions to sit on, so that way we'll be about 20, and by the time they soften up a little bit and go down, you won't be too low to the ground. So let's go ahead and get started. Hey, it's Memorial Monday. Happy Memorial. We're in the workshop right now. Unfortunately, America's game, they have the 2010 Green Bay Packers. Yeah, well, we know how I feel about the Packers. But the great thing about this project is it's actually pretty simplistic. If you understand like what a pallet is and how they put that together, basically that's what the base of this thing is. It's really, really simple to do. Now I'm going to make it a little bit more complex because I'm a cabinet maker and a woodworker and stuff, but if you go through and you look at Anna White's, it's actually very, very simple. And like I said, I'm just going to make it a little bit different. And the great thing about this is everything is based on the size of the cushions. The cushions are 25 by 25. So you can make this, if you wanted to make a love seat, you could just do the same thing. Instead of making it 75 inches, you make it 50 inches, and so on. So that kind of dynamic makes it really, really simple. And the other great thing about this is we could always add to this by making more and more sections. So you could make this as big as you want to, or you could just make this as like 2 separate couches. So the one thing that I will do to make it a little bit different is I'm going to make it angled back. And I know you're looking at this and you're going like, whoa, that's going to be really, really hard to do. But I'm going to show you actually how I do this with a jig. It's actually really, really simple. And again, if you have a table saw or workshop, you can go ahead and do this the same way as well. So we're going to get started with this. What we're going to do a little bit different than other people will do is we actually have 4x4 Douglas fir post, and we're actually going to make our feet out of this. So each of these sections, you'll be able to take the armrest off if you want to add them on later, because all the weight and stuff will be carried on this 4x4 post. Now, I have a tendency to build things heavier or stronger than they need to be, mainly because I'm kind of a big guy, and I have a fear of a bench or something breaking that somebody sits on. So I kind of overbuild. But the rest of it is all made out of plain Douglas fir 2x4s. Real simple. These are about $4 a piece here, at least in the on the East Coast and stuff. But Douglas fir is actually a really good wood for outdoor use. It kind of looks a little bit like redwood, kind of a poor man's redwood, so to speak, and it will hold up. I do recommend, of course, though, putting a stain and as well as a exterior varnish on it as well, so that way it'll really hold up well. So, to the basics of this is, again, 75 inches is what the space we need for the cushions, for 3 of them. Now we're going to add to that 1 inch, because this is also going to go onto the unit. So you're going to lose 1 inch on here on the back as well as the sides. So our actual dimensions of our base needs to be 76 by 26. Got that? Because this is going to actually rest on top of it, so we lose 1 inch of space. So real simple, we cut 2 pieces, 76 inches, and then we cut 4 pieces, 23 inches, and we'll put those together, and that will make the frame. So let's get started. Okay, that's it on cutting the pieces, so we can actually start putting those face pieces together. That's just unbelievable. This is one of those things that really just kind of pisses me off, because the quality, literally, you guys just saw me do this. I just took this literally out of the wrapper. The steel on this wasn't hardwoods that we were cutting. First thing, that piece literally came out of it. Tried screwing it with just the drill bit on here. Drill bit broke. $10. That's the sad thing about stuff now, that you go when, just trying to save a little time, go to Home Depot, grab this, and boom, thinking that it'd be okay. Evidently not. So we'll have to do it the old-fashioned way, but what we'll do is let's use a spade bit, 3/8 of an inch, and we'll drill just a starter hole into it, go down roughly about half an inch, and then we'll take another drill and drill it the rest of the way through it. That way we'll have our holes that will allow the screws to go right into it and hide the screws. See, that's our holes. So once we put our screws in here, then we can put a wood plug, sand it off, boom, and it'll look good. Okay, so to make things easy, the great thing about this project is everything is all the same sizes. So what we can do is we can mark everything at the same time. So we'll line these up. Get our trusty square here. Put them even. We mark the first one. We can just go through and mark the rest at the same time. Okay, so then we'll go through, and we know we need to put 2 holes in each of these sections, and then we'll come back through with the other drill bit, so that way we can do kind of a production line. And voila, see? So now, just got 3 more to do the same thing to, and then we'll come back through with an 1/8 inch drill bit. Okay, so now we're going to go back through and we're just going to drill the holes the rest of the way with the 1/8 inch drill bit. That way the screw will be able to slide right through here real easy and really be able to draw in real tight. Okay, what we have here, these are, turn the camera a little bit more. These are our 76 inch long ones, so these will be the length of them. These are our cross members that'll go in between, and then also too, we have 6 pieces that will go on top of it to make the bottom flat. What I also did was I cut our blanks here that will become these. You can see how that goes in there just like that. That's what this will become, and this will be the backing. And what it'll do is, once the frame is put together, it'll actually notch on the back of it like that, and we'll screw it right into it. And that way you've got a much stronger joint that's on here. We got a little bit of an angle so you can kind of lean back a little bit, because see, I can't sit up straight. I'm kind of old and it just doesn't work for me. And then what we'll do is we'll actually have 2x4s that will go the length of this for the backing. So it's going to be a pretty nice look. So the next thing to do, start putting this stuff together. Alright, so now comes the fun part. We can actually start putting some of this stuff together. Now what I'm going to do is, I'm actually using these all-weather screws here that are actually 3.5 inches long. So that way they'll get into the other piece of wood really, really deep and make a nice strong joint. So we need a little more space here, so we move some of the wood over. Alright, so we'll take this. Just a straight butt joint is all we're going to be doing. Just going to take that. Now these have a different tip on them, of course, because they are a different type of a screw. But we're just going to go through everywhere. Actually, let me flip this over so that way I have my marks on here. Got it pre-marked so we know everywhere that we need to put our markings. And we're just going to put these in flush, and boom, drill them together. See, nice and recessed in there, so you don't have to worry about that coming out. Okay, so there we have our base for our set. And then what's going to happen is these are going to go on top of it, just like that, with a little space in between them. And then our cushion will go on top of it. Now, one thing I'm going to also do here is, if you have a router, or if you have a router table, this has a 1/4 inch round over roughly on it. I'm actually going to put a 1/2 inch round over just to make it a little bit smoother and allow the water to drain off a little bit better, and to make sure we don't have any splinters that are on it. You don't have to do that, but it's a nice little extra effect that you can have for your bench. And it also helps in drainage. So now you can start to see how this is going to work. And then when we take this piece, see how that's going to fit on here just like that? Give us our angle, and then we'll take another piece of wood, and it'll actually go on here like this to make our backing. So that's the actual bench as it goes, and we'll end up using those real long screws right in here, nice and thick, to help hold it. Now, the other thing that's a little bit different than the way Anna White did on hers is, because I'm making these so that way you can change it up or add to them, what we're going to do is we're actually going to have the arms, which will actually be all those scrap pieces that we have, will actually be pieces that are like this, with another piece put on top for our arms, for our armrests and stuff. And again, we'll do a nice little round over all the way on there, so that way we won't get any splinters. So you can start to see how this will be coming together, and I think this is going to be fantastic. Yeah, I'm going to love this. Okay, so you can see how much more rounded over that is. That gives us a nice transition, even though you may not have the cushions on there, because I know they're waterproof cushions, but you don't want to leave them out there all the time. You can still sit down on this. It'll be a little bit lower than your normal, because it's only going to be 16 inches off the ground, but you can still sit down on it without it. And this will also help with the water to drain off of it and make it easier also to stay in between the cracks. So what we're going to do is we're going to end up putting these about a 1/4 inch spacing apart. That way, the water and everything will be able to drain. You'll be able to get your sponge in there to put some of the sealant and stuff around it, and it'll give us a really nice, good finish and help keep splinters down. Gotta love this. Okay, boy, quite a few pieces here, but it's literally 7 pieces for each one of the benches that have to go on here. So that's why we have so many, and with the 2 main benches that are here, you see what I've got. So the nice thing is see, well, it's kind of hard to see from that angle, but let's see if we can turn the board a little bit here instead of the camera. But you see that nice little space? We'll leave about a 1/4 inch gap in between there, and that's real nice and better finished. Now don't worry if you don't have a shaper or a router table. If you just have a router with a 1/2 inch round over bit, you can go on around and do the same thing. So you don't have to have the real big equipment. And in fact, the 2x4s themselves have a 1/4 inch round over, which is okay, especially if you're just going to put cushions on it. I just like to go ahead and have a really good transition, especially when we start putting like our armrests and stuff on here. It just feels that much better. And then of course, after we put in the screws to screw these down, we'll also go ahead and fill the holes in, and we'll sand it a little bit so that way there won't be any splinters and stuff, and it'll give it a much better finish and much better look. So now on to screwing all these things down. Wow, I'm going to get a lot of enjoyment out of this, and I want to thank you for watching part 1 of our multi-episode series on how to build this great outdoor sectional. Something that you can definitely do at home, cost-wise. The benches themselves will only cost you a couple $100. I hope you tune in for episode 2, where we take all of those pieces that we cut out there in the workshop and start actually putting them together. And I hope that you guys do this at home as well. And if you do, be sure to go ahead and tag me with any pictures that you have on it, because I want to see how yours come out. Also, as well, we've done another video on how to build this great fire pit. Man, this is going to be fantastic come this fall, watching football, being out here and just relaxing. And I'm hoping we'll see you soon. I'm Mark Holmes, and thank you for watching the Jobu Sports Report. I'll see you soon.
This is gonna make me cry.
He doesn't eat spicy food? I do not eat spicy food.
But how's the taste, though?
That's bomb. It's good. It's good.
Chicken texture, man.
But you still eat them, huh? Even though they're that hot.
It's the pain from the spiciness and the love from the.
They're good. They're really good. I need a beer though.
I got some over here in the cooler, my man.
I'm not trying it because I've seen them 3 times.
Well, I'm doing. Dang it.
That video, Mark.
Oh, just grab my man a beer out of here.
Can I get a beer?
Yeah, I'm just using beer.
Oh, fuck.
Oh,
I'll take it.
wait. Oh, there you go. You lucked out. One last beer. Oh.
I mean,
You can handle it. They're hot.
not bad, yeah.
All right, man. Thanks. No problem. Damn.
I gotta open it with something. Goddammit.
Here, let me. There we go. Oh, that's it.